beauty of appreciating a small things. Hello, everyone. Again, welcome on Ride of Appreciation. Here is our new podcast. First thing I would like to tell that we live in an age that worships scale, bigger goals, faster growth, louder success. From a young age, we are trained, almost conditioned, to believe that life begins after something happens, after the promotion, after the breakthrough, after we finally make it. But here's the quiet truth most people realize too late. Life is not postponed. It is happening constantly between those milestones. And most of it is made of small things. There's a quote often attributed to philosopher William James. "My experience is what I agree to attend to." That single sentence explains almost everything about appreciation. Because the quality of our life is not defined by how extraordinary it looks from the outside, but by what we consistently notice on the inside. Modern research supports this in striking ways. Studies from Harvard's long-running study of adult development, one of the longest studies on happiness ever conducted, reveal something deeply inconvenient for our ambition-driven culture. It's not wealth, fame, or achievement that predicts long-term fulfillment. It's the ability to find meaning in ordinary moments, relationships, routines, and daily experiences. In other words, people who thrive don't live bigger lives. They live more attentive ones. Small things are not insignificant. They are foundational. A moment of calm before the day begins. A thoughtful conversation that goes nowhere productive, but feels grounding. The ritual of coffee, silence, music, or movement. The satisfaction of finishing a task with care, not urgency. These moments don't announce themselves. They don't demand applause, but they quietly regulate our nervous system, anchor our attention, and remind us that life is not a race, it's a rhythm. Here's where many high-performing young adults struggle. We are excellent at pursuit, terrible at presence. We optimize everything, our calendars, our productivity, our personal brands, yet feel strangely disconnected from our own days. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation, the tendency to quickly normalize what once felt meaningful and immediately crave the next improvement. The result, we keep upgrading our lives, while emotionally inhabiting them less and less. Appreciation interrupts this pattern, not as positivity, not as gratitude lists done out of obligation, but as a discipline of attention. To appreciate small things is to resist the cultural pressure that says your life only counts when it's impressive. It's to say, this moment matters, even if no one sees it. And that decision changes how pressure feels, how stress lands, how success is defined. There's a concept in Japanese philosophy called ichigo ichi, roughly translated as this moment exists only once. No repeat, no replay. When you internalize that truth, appreciation stops being sentimental and becomes precise. You stop rushing conversations. You stop treating rest as weakness. You stop assuming there will be time later. Because later is never guaranteed, but this moment is already here. Professionals often ask, how do I slow down without falling behind? The answer is subtle, but powerful. You don't slow your ambition. You refine your awareness. Appreciating small things doesn't make you less driven. It makes you less depleted. And a regulated, present mind consistently outperforms an exhausted one. The irony is this: the people who feel most alive are rarely those doing the most dramatic things. They're the ones who are fully where they are. They notice. They pause. They allow meaning to accumulate quietly. And over time, those small moments don't stay small. They become stability, clarity, perspective. They become a life that feels lived, not just survived. So perhaps the question isn't, how do I achieve more? But something far more grounding. What am I overlooking right now that is already enough? Because the beauty of appreciating small things is not that it makes life softer, it makes life truer. Thank you for listening to Ride of Appreciation, where we don't chase meaning, we learn to recognize it. If this episode resonated with you, sit with it. Let it work quietly. That's how the most important things always do.